Good morning, everybody. Happy Wednesday. Welcome back. Daily profit plan just after 9 o'clock on the 17th. Let's have a look at the news this morning. We've got futures up a little bit. Nice little recovery off of our support levels we talked about. We had discussed how important that 67.70 level was. And you have a look at the markets yesterday. We had support sitting here around 60. So just slowly organized, came down yesterday. We marked out our charts. Plus or minus 39.89 was the day's expected range. Literally finished flat on the day. So below, above, that was good. Stayed inside our 50% ATRs. Didn't have a bottom fill. We were looking at 67.25. We were looking at some broken wing butterfly defense trades in case we needed them. But if we look left on this chart, let's go to like a 30-minute time frame here. We look left on this chart. This was the structure level that I had been talking about right in here and offered up some really nice support. So is it forever changed? Well, not quite. Price did respond to that. So we have a high, lower high, came up and tested that level yesterday. So a break back above, let's say, opening up today, going a little bit more sideways, obviously not taking out the lows, then we're still back in this kind of range where 6,900 could maybe see price, find a low, work its way back up into 6,900 or so. I'm showing this and you're not seeing my screen. Ha, that's my fault. You don't just feel it and visualize it when I say it? No, just kidding. All right, you can see my screen. Okay, now we can see the screen. So a level I was talking about was the NVIDIA sell-off day where we had that big gap up. Market saved on NVIDIA, not so fast. 1.5% to the upside, swings down over 3% to close 1.5 to the downside. That's the third time in 30 years that that's happened. But it happened. And that structure, that was the level I was watching, was right in there. So previous high becoming support. We also had this gap fill area and all that was tested. So what I was getting at more in the near term was right in here. Like so. So the rally yesterday, yesterday afternoon to get up into 6,800, we essentially closed very, very flat, like within 1 point of the day. So really nice, like zero grounds gained or lost on the day, which is fine. It's perfect for daily profit play. Now what I'm saying is if we are going to, see this low hold a little bit more time, higher lows, higher highs, we still have our 6,900 resistance right now. No damage done here. That's hopefully going to be the case for the holidays and maybe a push up into the highs once again. We will see. Let's take a look at the heat map yesterday. Tesla had a pretty big day, hitting all-time highs. A lot of red energy. Had an oil futures expiration full profit for CL. That was for Project Options Edge. I did have a rate. So I've got Project Options Edge. We have some trades running into the end of, December 19th was a big expiration for a lot of our trades. And then January 16th, January 30th for a lot of our trades. I'm just going to add up the total profit. That is, a lot of these are sitting at like 85% max credit, 90+% max credit. Or with expiration, I mean, there's like a 95 to 99.5% chance of profit on a lot of these trades. But let me add these up. This is just credit that I'm looking to collect. 418, 170, 125, 21505, 69, 119, 210, 1, 116, 153, 118, 130, 104, 505, 164. Okay, so $36 of credit if all that was is a one contract trade, that's over $3,600 of profit. I have this on at least 9 accounts. So that's like 32 grand in the next probably 45 to 60 days. That's not bad. Now I'm up about 80+% of this max credit, which isn't terrible. So I am watching this stuff closely because part of me wants to just take a lot of the profit and walk away. But if I'm only going to take, let's see, let's add this up to like 324. Let's say that I take 80% of that. So I take 26K out of 32,000. I mean, it could be worse, but take 90%. Take 90% out of 324. 29,000 out of 32. I mean, that's closer. So I'm weighing the probabilities, the time. Is it worth hanging on to these trades? Do I want to continue to kind of de-risk? I'm sitting almost at like 59% cash right now. So I could still de-risk. I could take profits, obviously. Probabilities on a lot of these trades are looking pretty good. So I'm going to try to get a video in today or tomorrow for Project Options Edge on reviewing these positions because we do have quite a few of them. I'll just read off some of the tickers here. Adobe, Dutch Brothers, Chipotle, which I'm taking assignment on. So I'm going to repair that one with some covered calls. Costco is looking for like a full winner. Home Depot, Hims, I did close out. Actually, I meant to update that one yesterday. Let me update that for Project Options Edge. Hims, right in here. Trade management update. Hims. Ratio spread, the entry was $1.25 credit. Close 0.08 debit. Keeping $1.17 of max 125. So 117. So keeping 93.4% of that profit. That trade's done. What else? Lululemon looking good. MicroStrategy, Micron, Pepsi, Procter and Gamble, or I'm sorry, Progressive Insurance, and then we have some trades on the QQQ and the SPY. When we had those flare-ups and volatility, I was selling some pretty good premium on the Qs. Just the Nasdaq alone, that is $1, 116, 153, 118. So $487 on the Qs and 130, 104, 505, and 164 on the SPY. So, I mean, roughly $1,400 on just the SPY and the Qs for the same like 30 to 45 day window of expirations. Okay. So anyway, it's a good problem to have. That's what I was, my A to Z comb yesterday for the portfolio. That's what I was looking at. So those are expirations. That is some exposure. A lot of those probabilities are very, very high. Unless the market did something really, really silly. And obviously the market can do that, but I would think, mostly improbable that we're going to see like a full market dump in the next 30 or 45 days. I would say if we're going to have a weakness window, it could be, April, May, when Powell steps down, new Fed chair steps in. Maybe that's an odd window for the markets. Q1 earnings, if we're really disappointed, maybe in February, March, when earnings season picks back up. It's like just kind of the reality of the market. So that's where we're at. So I will weigh those options. Like I said, I'll show you those really quickly. Then we'll go into our daily profit play. Adobe. So we're trading at 350. This one expires in 30 days, 250 by 240 for a ratio spread. It's up 83%. So this is the probabilities. Like if a lot of these trades are up over 90%, I don't mind taking some of the profit off the table. Buck 95 is my max profit if I grab like $1.75, $1.80 of profit. Next one, see your Dutch Brothers. 42.50 by 40. We're trading at $62, 99% chance of profit. Adobe, right here, 99.5% chance of profit. Those all look pretty good. Chipotle, I'm taking assignment, but I'm repairing. So I have another assignment coming this Friday. I'll add another covered call and stagger it out. I'm just going to repair this at $40. And Home Depot, looking pretty good. 99.5% chance of profit. I've got 96% of the max credit in. This one wouldn't be bad. Just take off the table. All right. So just food for thought. Hims, I did close that one out. Lululemon had a nice little response off the lows. Trading at 206. I've got a 160 by 155 for January. 88% chance or 88.5% of max profit. And I'm up with a 99% chance of profit by the end of expiration. Micron, 99.5% chance of profit on this trade here that expires January 16th. PepsiCo, 119, up 92%, 99.5% chance profit. That one I wouldn't be worried about for expiration. Progressive Insurance, 195 by 190, trade at 231, 99.5% chance profit. This one somehow, I don't think I can get this trade to close out, but it's showing 110%, which means it'd give me a bonus profit, which is interesting. If that's the case, I will look to close that one today for a bonus profit if I can. That's what's nice about ratio spreads is sometimes you can actually close that. You can open it for a credit. You can still close it for a credit and get a couple extra bucks. Similar to how you can do that on a broken wing butterfly if you're in a profit trap. Progressive Insurance did, then the Qs and the SPY. So Qs, Project Options Edge, 111 trades, looking pretty good there. Should have some good income. Nearest expirations, this one expires in 2 days. That's going to be a full profit of $1.53. This one expires in 30 days, another one for 30 days, another one for 44 days. Those are the profits that are looking pretty solid. 99.5%, 99, I mean, literally every one of them, 99.5%. Why? Because I chose these strikes when we had the market, VIX up to 25, 26, 27, 28, 29 VIX. I was selling premiums using the April lows. Some of these trades have been open long-ish. This one is open 29 days. It's like, that's a pretty good flip for $1 income, $1.18 income, only open about, let's say 44 days, 30 days, or I guess in total, like maybe 70 to 80 days, and grabbing a few dollars of income, going, 30% of the money. Wasn't bad when the VIX spiked up. SPY, same thing. Ratio spread, 111. All these for Project Options Edge. Hedges aren't, honestly, hedges didn't pay a ton this year, but they're there. They're there with a lot of asymmetry in case I need one. The other hedge I have is VIX. This is an April expiration, so we'll see if the VIX has another big jump up into the 30s, maybe. Some type of event that gets us there. Okay. So good stuff on that front for Project Options Edge. We're taking a lot of profit, and it's been, the whole year, which has been pretty nice. What else? Daily income, daily profit play yesterday worked out really nicely. How did we do yesterday? So zoom back in, go back to the 5-minute chart here. So we opened the day at 6,800 and we closed the day at 6,800. Like literally 0 points in the day. Back inside the 50% ATRs, which is nice. Right inside our levels. We did a 10 wide iron condor yesterday for daily profit play and took a nice little winner. I had 2 contracts. One I took off at it was $1.55. I closed for 70 cents. The other one I closed out for full profit because I was out of the office, which was kind of helpful. I didn't have to look at it. So I ended up grabbing a nice winner yesterday. We'll look at the same thing today. I've got the screenshot already in the ATR tracker, so I can refresh this. Let's get rid of my lines. Take a look at our SPX numbers for today. So the 17th, plus or minus 36.16. Okay. So 36.16 on the day. Any major news? We had news yesterday. I don't know if we have much today versus tomorrow. I think we have another batch of news tomorrow. So today is the 17th. Not much. Oil inventory is at 10:30. More Fed talk this morning. Williams is speaking. I saw Waller was speaking this morning. I got that on my phone for financial juice notifications. That is it. So pretty light, just some Fed talk this morning. Markets are looking a little bit higher with the S&P futures up about 0.2%. So we might have a little gap up. Look, if the market's going to use the technical bounce yesterday around that 67.70 zone, if it's going to use that bounce and we are going to start breaking this decline, either this way or this way, there's still a little bit more to go. I mean, the market did make a higher low here, which is encouraging. Maybe watching the structure right here. So to me, if we get above 68.20, then that's clearing these highs, going after these previous highs, and then looking to see if the market wants to run back up to range levels at 6,900 or so. Actually, I would disagree, Greg. I think usually Tasty's slightly higher. Usually I've seen Tasty slightly higher than, or I'm sorry, I've seen Thinkorswim slightly higher. So let me go Thinkorswim. It says 24.18. That's really low. Yeah, again, like I don't know. I'm showing 34.45, man. You're looking at 22.61%. It's a plus or minus at 34.45. So I've got Tasty at 36.16, Thinkorswim at 34.45. I'd obviously I'd take the higher of the two as far as like just planning your trade. Take the higher of the two, right? Okay. Today at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, Daily Profit Play Masterclass. I have kind of a new thought, and again, not to like modify the service or anything like that. It's just more like brainstorming. I'd like to do that today in Daily Profit Play. It's something I'd be curious to test. Curious to test. Put it in practice. It's again, it goes back to like, okay, Daily Profit Play, reward risk, right? Like yesterday, pulled $1.55 and was risking $8.45. Typically pull $1 risking $4. Those are fine. But are there ways to make more money? Yes. Are there ways to risk less? Yes. Depending on where we position our trades for Daily Profit Play, I want to talk about that today at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. Blake, by the way, I do have a hard stop today at 10 o'clock.
Yes, sir. Yeah,
Okay.
I see you're on the opening playbook today.
That's correct. So we'll get right into the action, see if we can get a trade landed, and off we go.
That'd be awesome, man.
Okay, cool. All right. So Daily Profit Play today, 2 p.m. Eastern Time. I'll just make a note of that in the chat for everybody. So all Daily Profit Play members, 2 p.m. Eastern Time. Live training. Okay, good stuff there. Project Options Edge, I'll try to get a video out either today or tomorrow. I'm out on Friday. No sessions for me on Friday. We have an early flight around 6 a.m. our time. So trying to get to what's been negative wind chill temperatures back in the Midwest, and hopefully it's not going to be that when we get there. That would suck. We're going back to, I'm watching my nephew play some basketball this weekend in a big tournament. All right. What's the update on income grid? Yeah, let's get our plan. We got about 6 minutes. I could talk income grid once we get our trades set up. Yep. So let's go here, get our levels. VIX is trading at, let's go VIX. Going VIX 10 minute. Okay. VIX down to 1588. We'll keep an eye on this one. If the VIX continues to go lower, then we'll just use this morning's value at 1588. Or, this was at 8:15 a.m. Just to be on the safe side. Like I never mind taking, a slightly higher VIX to have those like highs and lows calculated for the day. So this is a 16.5 VIX. Again, we may not hit that level, but if I'm going to call the top or bottom, I'd much rather be using a VIX 16.5 than I would, a 15.91. Here's why. If I say VIX at 15.91, that's a 0.99% move. If I go VIX at 16.5, that's a 1.03. If you're trying to call the top or the bottom or pin the top or the bottom, 1.03 is obviously a striker so different than the 0.99. So I'm going to take this VIX from this morning, which is around 8:15 a.m. before the VIX dropped a little bit. Now, if it continues to go lower, that's fine. But I'm going to use this 16.5 VIX. That's about a 1.03% move. Okay, 1.03. So let's take that based on, if we have the close, we're going to have a slight gap up, I would think, with futures up about 0.19. So let's take the close from yesterday, go 1.03 to the downside. 1.03 puts us around 67.28. That is a 16.51 VIX. Again, if the VIX goes higher than 16.51, you want to make that adjustment. I'm going to recenter this daily profit play indicator at 6,800 now. That was our close from yesterday. And then if we have a slight gap up, let's take the close. We go up 0.2%. There's an open around 68.11. Start at 68.11 and then go 103 up. So about a 68.81. Okay, that's based on a 16.5 VIX. Gamma levels for the morning. If we open up this is, kind of encouraging. We don't have nearly the big gamma up and big gamma down. We had some wide levels on our gamma this week. If we're above 68.10, that should be positive gamma to get us up into, this level around 68.50. We have previous highs around 68.60. This morning, if we're opening up around, let's say 68.11 or so, I would like to be selling calls, hopefully above like 60. That's a previous high here. I'd like to sell it above that. Depends on what that delta looks like. So that's just thoughts on, if you're trying to sell some premium this morning and stay out of the way, I'd like my call side to be above 68.60. That gets us above all these gamma levels. I'd ideally like my put side to be below 67.50, right? So we'll see. The plus minus at 36, and I'm looking at going, 50 to 60 points up, 50 to 60 points down. Just that's not going to offer a lot of premium. That's going to be something where if price does move and it comes to us, then we can possibly get our trades filled. But it's not going to offer a ton of premium, I think, on the onset. Depends on what those deltas look like this morning. Okay. This look like an up or down day. If I knew that, we would never be wrong. It looks like, just based on a gap open, if we're above 68.10, it looks like the market after this level, especially, showing an encouraging bounce. If we get back above 68.10 and flip into positive gamma, where's my largest gamma level of the day? 68.50. Does that mean that it's going to get hit today? No, but that would be my visual roadmap is, based on what we're seeing order flow wise, getting up to 35 or 40 or 50 today is more likely than not. That would be where I'm kind of leaning for the day. So, daily profit play is not about being directional, right? It's about absorbing whatever the market's capable of giving us and having the market stay efficient. So what I'd like to see is we get above 68.10. We have our call spread up here. We have our put spread down here. Even if price does go a little bit higher, okay, we can still get filled for $1 out of a four, 5 wide. So I'm risking 4 to make 1, but my probability profit on the trade is, let's say we're 50, 60 points out of the money, right? I mean, it just, you follow the process. So does that mean that price can't go higher than, I mean, price can obviously do whatever it needs to do, but based on a, open and a plus or minus 36, it's like, okay, so let's say we open up at 68.10, we go 36 points. It's like, we'll be in the 40s. If we go directional, we're going like 68.40 plus, right? So anyway, let's see it. That gap was actually a little bit lower than I thought. Futures is 0.11. So we're at 68.03 for the open, which means we'd have to have like a 40 plus point move to get to 68.50 and a 50 plus move to get to 67.50. Here's live gamma right now. Let's see this for today, December 17th. There we go. So biggest level that I have is 68.50. That's to the upside. Positive negative gamma is just above the 68.10. Okay. So I'm going to have a look. Like I said, I'd like to see if price can stay above 68.50, 67.50 on the put side. Let's see what the chain looks like this morning. So 68.50 right now is a 15 delta. I can go 60 and 65, which isn't bad for a 10 delta. And I can go 50 and 45, which I'll go one strike lower here. So this is trading for 80 cents right now. I'm going to take this trade for $1 and see if it fills. Okay. So, members Telegram for daily profit play coming in with a pending orders trading around 85 cents. We need a little bit of directional push. Today is the 17th. Okay, that trades in for a pending order. Let's have a look at some live gamma. Got filled yesterday. Yeah, we got filled yesterday. We got filled yesterday and had a nice win yesterday for daily profit play. All right, here's another look. So to me, the day is all about, if we're going to get to 68.40 or 68.50, we need to see price clearing the 68.10 handle. This is positive gamma. This is negative. If we're going to run up for the day, on the left side here, we got a 68.60 previous high. Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah, the December 31st trade did get filled. Yep, I put that in. I labeled that in. That's a bonus trade. If you got filled in that bonus trade with me, there's our end of your rally. It's already up 40 bucks. So if you want to hang on to this one a little bit longer, we got filled with that 68, 67.95, and 68.95. Risking 3 to make 2. Plus, we have a profit trap on here. I'd say if this one offers us $100 or so, or our rally is looking encouraging, it's like, then let's just hang on to this puppy a little bit longer. So I'll keep an eye on this one. But yeah, I just labeled it here bonus year end rally. Hopefully that's what happens and we're above 1,600. But yeah, they got filled. Yep. Okay. So let's see if we have some direction. 68.50. For double ups, this wouldn't be a bad spot. If you're looking at, we're at 10 right now. If we did like a, 40 by 30 by 50, let me see if that profit trap is cheap enough. So if I did 40, 50, and 30, it cost me less than $1. But if we hit those strikes today, like that's a pretty good way to turn $1 risk into, maybe $100, $200, $300 of profit. Again, we have to get the direction today, but if it gets there, that's a pretty good possibility. If you want to go a little bit wider and cheaper, move this up to 45. and maybe go 15 wide. Now it costs you $2 a risk, but you can make up to 1,300 bucks. So I mean, 40 and 10 wide isn't too bad. It's going to cost you about $1. That's a tempting trade. I think for me to execute a trade like that for double ups is I'd like to see if price can clear the 68.10. We get above 68.10, that looks a lot better. But if it chops around here, it's probably just nothing burger type day, which we haven't had those. I mean, that's what's kind of crazy. Yesterday was like a 0 point day from open to close, but we had 4 days in a row before that where the expected move was exceeded, which is never ideal, right? I mean, you don't want to see that happen very often. So, anywho, let me see. No major news today. We opened up. I mean, I want to make sure like the plus minus that I can get into that window. So I'm looking at the 40. We don't need it to get to 40 or 50. It's better if it does, obviously. Let's see here. Could I get to 35 maybe? How cheap is this? I mean, I risk $1 here and it has to get to like 30, 35. Let's see if I can take this trade for like 930 credit. Let's try like a 9. So he's trading for like $9. I'm gonna wait. My game is starting to change a little bit on me this morning. So 6,800 seems pretty sticky. 6780. I mean, we want to see a higher low in here, right? Having the market turn like it did yesterday, higher low. We want to see another kind of higher low form and have price get back above 6810. So I'm going to hold off on that for right now. See if we get any direction to get filled on our daily profit play. We're trading at 85 cents right now. I want $1, so I'm just going to let that pen for $1. Did you post that bonus trade someplace? Yeah, that was posted like this whole week. Our bonus trades were posted in here for everybody. Classroom notes, bonus trades. This was updated on the 16th. So this trade and this trade. This is the one that got filled. So there it is. This was posted like the day before that. I just, instead of taking the 22nd expiration, I removed the 22nd expiration, just went to the 31st. No, Kirk. I mean, the trades that are in that are expiring. I mean, we have most of the risk is already seen on them, right? So expirations that I have here for pinch point, it's down almost full. It's almost down our full max risk. Same thing here. I can save $20 if I close it out now. Reason why I'm hanging on is like perhaps like if the market on this particular stock runs like $10, we can actually turn this into a profit. Um, this one pinch call spread. It's like these are all max. I think that's it, right? FCN, PLNT, and WSC. Those are the only expirations for Friday, and those are like at the defined risk losses. So I'll just kind of give the market 3 days to see if something magical happens to get us into those directional levels that get us profit. If it doesn't, then I've already defined the risk and I'll take the loss. Potential high low for the day. I base that on a VIX at 16.5, which is right here. I'm going to make a chart alarm in case we break it. So I'll set a couple of VIX alerts. I mean, there seems to be a lot of chop here in the VIX around 17. So keep an eye on that. We have to adjust our targets. So VIX right now, I use the 16.5 high, 16.53, I think. Yeah, high was 16.52. And my calculated top or bottom based on that VIX was 68.81 and 67.28. So we'll see if we get a trade filled. Okay. So trade is pending for daily profit play. I want to spend a little bit of time on income grid. I've got some breakdowns here, which we might find interesting. So this is a service I'll be running starting in January. And basically, I just wanted to look at some of the percentages with you. So the nice part about this is it's still index related. It's the ability to, double our investment, go after, if I go, let's see, if I make 2, max risk 3, I make 66 to 67% return on my trade, or I can make 100% of my trade, which would be I risk 250 to make 250. That's 100% return. So I'm building this on something that over the course of 50 years, 70 years, 90 years, this is what the market's done best. And what we do is I have alignments based on a 1-hour chart, a 4-hour chart, and a daily chart. And that'll tell us whether we should be bullish or stay out. Because I did trade this for all the testing that I did. It's like I did trade this both ways. And my conclusion is that trying to trade bearish is fine because it gives you something to do, but it's not as profitable. Okay. So it was, let's say I took 20 trades, like 20 or 30 like bearish trades, and I won 15 and lost 15, or I won 20 and lost 10. It's okay. But when I win, let's say 25 and lose 5, I'd much rather win 25 and lose 5 over the course of, 10 years, right? Over the course of 20 years, 30 years. So to me, it's better just to stay out. And so using these alignments, it's a decent like short-term and long-term like technical alignment where we know when we can have like an indecision zone and we can stay out of some of the noise and we can stay out when the market turns bearish and we can just focus on the bigger runs, which would be our, bull markets last 4 to 5 years and our bear markets last about 1 year. Right? Our last bear market, by the way, our last bear market was 2022. And it was January to November. So if we're going to say that the bottom of that bear market was November 2022, well, November 2022 to November 2023 is 1 year. 2024 is 2 years. 2025 is 3 years. So we're talking an average bull market of 4 to 5 years, and we're only in year 3 right now. So it is very possible that we still have more in the tank to see this bull market stay. I mean, everyone's talking about a bubble in 2025. People have no idea what a bubble really is. If we're going to see an everything bubble, there's still probably, S&P at 7,500, S&P at 8,000. I mean, who knows? S&P could be at freaking 10,000. I have no idea. But I think that this market has done a pretty amazing job climbing this wall of worry for the last several years, where everyone thinks recession. Everyone is, crazy hedge, and the skew in the markets are like aggressive on the put side. We see like the put call ratios and stuff. I think that 2026, if we're lucky, it's another up year. If we're, going to be challenged a little bit, it's going to be a sideways year. And if the sky is falling, then we know how to stay out. Like, that's what's kind of nice is there's no reason to be scared about stuff. It's like there is a time to just stay out. And that's okay, because I'd rather be staying out with cash on the sidelines. If the VIX is high, I'll sell premium. I'll take a couple assignments and I'll just concentrate my portfolio into something that's very simple and manageable. I'll participate, but what we can do every single day in daily profit play, how we can be flexible in something like waterfall income, how we can look at, something like income grid, where it's like, if it's aligned, we trade, we participate. If it's not, we stay out. So anyway, I just want to show some of the win percentages here. This year, 78% of our trades have been winners, and you're doubling your money with your winners. It's not bad. Okay. So 70%, 77%, 68%, 69%, 78%. I mean, that's a pretty good win rate considering our wins are 1-to-1. I will accept, and I'll talk about this more in the service. I'll talk about what I'm willing to accept. I mean, we may not get a 1-to-1 fill every single week, although I'd like it. But I'm looking at it as this, and I'm going to talk more about this on Monday with Lance. I'll be in Stonkamania with him on Monday. But basically, if we start out the week where we have a weekly open, okay, I'm going to position my trade. If we open up right here, I'm going to position my trade pretty much flat for the week. So if the price immediately starts to go higher, I need to make sure I'm at least getting, if I'm trading SPX where it's a $5 spread, I need at least $2 of credit. That's what I want. I want 250. So if I set the order at 250, I want that trade, which means I need my price to get about 10 to 15 points in the money. Okay. So this is what we kind of need to have happen. It's not that big of a move. So if we had a 6,800 instrument, we need a 15-point move. Oops. So we need a 15-point move. We need price to move about 0.2%, give or take. So if price goes sideways, price goes down about 0.2%, price goes, up 0%. Once we get filled, our break even is lower, and we need price to basically respect like within a zero move on the day, on the week, or a like 0.2%, we get paid. So price could literally go nowhere and we can make money. So if from a weekly open, okay, if a weekly open to a weekly close is at 0 points, the market moves 0 points, which we know is not usually the case, we can still make 250 profit, right? That's not bad. Even if the market went down for the week about 0.2 to 0.3%, we'd still be break even. And what's crazy is most of the time, I took the screenshot here. Let me see if I can pull this up. Just got filled in SPX for $1, by the way. And what is our put side? I'm going to make sure my put side is far enough away. Hopefully it was the 45 or so. Okay, so we're filled at the 45 by 40. Yep, just filled on that daily profit play. There you go. So filled for $1. Let's keep an eye on it. 45 to the downside, which right now my gamma, if we're going to come down to the 50 plus ATR, should be safe. If we're the plus or minus 36 on the day, we open up around 03. I mean, we have to move 60 points, right? We'd have to move 60 points out of a plus minus 36. Hopefully that's not the case for the day. So we'll watch, but hopefully we're going to see like another kind of contained day, and we'll see if we can grab another daily profit play winner. All right, back to income grid. Positive days, positive weeks, positive months. These are stats I thought were really interesting to give us. This is our edge. Like history for me is the edge. Every day you trade, there's typically a 54 to 55% positive bias just to be bullish in the markets. That is an edge. Okay. Every week, 55 to 60% of every week you trade, positive bias. This is through bull and bear markets, by the way. Okay. Positive years, almost 75% of every year that we trade has been positive. How many months? 60% of your months are positive. This is why I'm saying like it's more profitable in the long run as a routine every day, every week, every month to only be bullish. That's what's crazy. And I just, again, it's like keep it simple. Manage your risk, get 1-to-1 or better, and go for the probability. And in the long run, if we took this thing, for 52 weeks a year, let's just say that every week was a proper participation where we're in the proper macro environment, good technical alignments, we participate for 52 trades. I would imagine we're going to win probably 70% of our trades. Okay, so let's just do the math. If I win 70% of my trades, okay, let's just say we do a year. So 52 trades times 0.7. So we win 36 of our trades. 36 of our trades at $250. Okay. And 14 at $250. So we're up, over $5,000 on one trade, one contract over the course of a year. Is that going to change anyone's life? I mean, no, but if I did that every single week with one trade risking very little and I could make 5.5% on a 100K account, that's a risk-free rate. That's beating a risk-free rate. That's beating inflation. And that's not taking a lot of risk. Okay. So, I mean, look, I'm just excited about this. This probably to me feels like one of the like easiest kind of no-brainer strategies, which is if you're in the right environment, participate. If you're not, stay out. And the probability of making money is really high. The risk reward is the one thing that I have my biggest objection to is where a lot of traders jump into strategies like I trade. I trade strategies where I win a lot. I win like 90+% of my trades. But when I do lose, it does set me back, 5, 6, 7 trades where I have to win now 5 or 6, 7 times in order to make up for that one loss. Versus if I lose one and I win one, I'm back to flat. If I win two, lose one, I'm profitable, right? And just from a mental, like a psychological standpoint, that is a nice way to trade. Is one loss, I'll get it back next week. I'll get it back in 3, 4, 5 trades. I'm back in black really easily. That recovery ability is just way faster. Okay, so I have this. This is designed to go. I'm going to focus on monthlies and weeklies. Okay. But I will teach. So I'm personally not going to do the dailies. Dailies is, to me, it's a little bit noisier. And it's also, it's a lot more exposure every single day and week. But, the win rate probably goes down quite a bit. And I may not be able to get the fills that I want on the dailies because there's a bit more noise. Week to week, totally fine. Monthly, never worried about it. It's just frequency of trading. If I trade like monthly, I might have 12 trades a year. But I would have, the whole reason I've called this grid or income grid is because I want to have a couple of levels that I'm paying attention to. That makes sense. So to me, I'm focused. This is going to be weeklies and monthlies primarily. But I will supercharge this with traders that want to go bullish on the dailies, and then also if you want to be more passive, doing this for quarterlies. And the important thing is in the macro environment, we might also recognize like if I have a pending order. So remember, like I said, you can have like the 1-4 daily alignments, like the 1 hour, 4 hour daily alignments. If we did a quarterly trade pending order, and all of a sudden the market macro wise started to turn bearish on me, I'd want to cancel those trades. I don't want to be filled on a quarterly entry when all of a sudden our environment is a stay out or indecision zone. Make sense? So that's the only thing we'd have to do for maintenance is like if we're not in the proper alignments, we don't keep our trades pending. I want to participate in the market is aligned for us. So it's a little bit easier, nimble to go month to month or week to week. Okay. So anyway, percentages are good. And what was fun about doing this back testing, even though it was super labor intensive, because I did this all manually, was seeing that my macro alignments kept this out of trouble. And I traded everything both directions. But the net result was if you want the highest profit factor, the best win percentage, just go stay in the markets when it's bullish and you have these long stretches of bull markets, and then stay out when it's indecisive, stay out when it's bearish. And even though I had a lot of trades in 2022 that were bearish, I think I made like my win percentage on the bear trades were like 54%, 55%, which was fine to make money, but barely making money. You just took a lot of trades. And why is that? Because bear markets, when we had, the week would be down and then the next week would rip up. And so you're still focused on bear trades and you're stacked in. And it's like if I income grid and I'm trying to sell the market and it rips up for a week and then flushes back down, my timing wasn't right. Right. And I don't want that. So just stay out. It's a lot more enjoyable when the market wants to do this every week to 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 week. And if it goes higher, that's fine. Week to week to week to week. It just goes. It goes up. It goes up. It's a lot easier to participate in that environment. Okay. Versus the chaos that we see with the high volatility. Okay. All right. So little touch points there. I do have to go at the top of the hour. Daily profit lays in. I'm glad we got filled on that. Trade so far looking pretty good. It is up about $23 right now. If this shows like 30, 40, $50 this morning, take it. I'm going to look for probably a $40 to $50 winner today and just let price do its thing. And we'll come back and do it again tomorrow. Okay. Keep an eye on this one as well. This trades out for another 14 days. All we need price to do is stay above 6,800. So if we get back into 6,850, we get back to 6,900, we maybe break highs again by the end of the year. If this trade is offering over $100 profit, I'm going to take it. Okay. If it's looking, probability profit wise, if it's looking really good, then sure. maybe I'll hang on to it through expiration and just let it settle for $2 credit. Is there a cheaper way to trade SP? Of course, you can trade XSP, you can trade SPY, QQQ. So the nice thing is, again, this is why like classroom time and stuff we'll spend in the official service would be we can take that for a fraction of the risk. So here's an example. If the market started here for the week, okay, if it started here for the week and we had trade 1, trade 2, and 3, and even 4, if I did this for a dollar wide spread, 50 cents on each one. Okay, does this make sense? So if I had trades 1, 2, 3, and 4, my max risk would be $2. And obviously, if you don't want to take all these trades, then cancel this one, cancel, and my max risk could be $1. There are two key levels I'm watching every single week. It's the at the money, and it's one level lower. So my level 1 and level 2, or I kind of call this level 0 and level 1. We don't have to take a lot of risk. If you're trading XS or XSP, you can trade that within a dollar spread. If you go SPY, QQQ, same thing. Qs maybe some weeks might be 250 spread, but SPYs should be like a dollar spread. So dollar spread on SPY, dollar spread on XSP. That way you can keep the risk really, really tight. Okay. Reward to risk is way different, Alan. Reward to risk is way different. And when I want to, like waterfall strategy too, it's like I can participate as much as I want to. Like I want to trade almost every week with waterfall income. I just use strategy 2 to get more forgiveness. This one is a little bit simpler in the fact that I have a stay in, stay out type criteria. Okay. And we're also, the reward to risk is a lot better. Like I'm not going to risk, we have a trade in waterfall income. It's like I just pulled a trade in for $1.05 and I'm risking like $1,400, but I'm giving myself about 16, almost 17% margin for error for that trade. Right. Could you post your plan exit if it changes? So I'll do this for daily profit play. Daily profit play filled. So DPP update. Today's DPP filled. Entry $1 credit. Looking for a 60-cent debit or lower for profit. So if you see it trading for 60 cents or less, take the profit. That'll probably be my update. Okay. All right. Blake, are we doing a stream in this session right here as I'm jumping to opening playbook?
I'll be honest. I read through the messages. I did see Caroline say she wanted to stream in here.
Okay. Well, here's if we have a stream recording, let's do a stream recording for Daily Profit Play because I do have a class today, Daily Profit Play for all members, and this can be anyone that wants to join me for it. Daily Profit Play for members at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, live class today. So if we have that stream, let's do. We're doing 2 p.m. master class today.
Yeah, man. I got
okay.
I think it was the one I played yesterday.
Yeah, that's fine. Let's do that one again.
Yeah.
And look, I've got a couple like strategy tweaks I want to talk about today. Just throw it out there. It's not something I've thoroughly tested. I've just been I always think about this stuff. This is one thing that's probably the good and the bad about trading for 20 plus years is I'm never satisfied. It's like I'm always going to look to refine and tweak and make things better and manage risk better, manage reward better. So we'll talk about today masterclass. If you want to be a part of that, come join me for the 2 p.m. class. It's all members for Daily Profit Play. If you want to join me and jump into that class, let's talk about it. We also will talk core strategy, defense trades, which has been my favorite way to refine the course thus far. I want to talk a little bit more about the reward risk stuff on the day as well. So that'll be today, 2 p.m. Blake can play that. I'm jumping over to opening playbook with Nate and Graham. We'll have some fun there. And I'll see you all today at 2 p.m.
Right.
All right. Thanks.
Yep. You're welcome, Chris. See you, man.
Bye. This has been a zero DT strategy for the last 3+ years. There's always a risk of loss. And this trade is slightly higher risk than reward. But this is a trade that I tell everyone you have to be willing to trade through it, because what we will do is every now and then, like 1 in 10 trades, 1 in 15 trades, there will be a day that the markets do something really silly. And that's what's kind of nice is we shouldn't see a loss unless the market does something unusual or abnormal. Okay. But we have won 89+% of our trades with an average return of about 15% over the same day hold. So we're in today, we're out today. We don't have to worry about what Trump is going to say, what the Fed's going to do, what about the news this week. It's like we try to just set up and win the day. All the stuff news wise is basically priced in and baked into the markets. I'll get to that at the end, Kirk. Yep. Bear with me. I'll get to that at the very end. Okay. So, this is a great strategy. I keep telling traders, like, you have to be willing to trade through this. The reason why is because one loss is likely going to come with probably 10, 15, 20 winners in a row. So in the last, 3 years that I'm trading this, we've had streaks of up to like 50 trades in a row without a single loss. Okay. So one loser is going to set you back maybe 5 losses, or I'm sorry, one loser sets you back about 5 trades. So be willing to trade through it. And it's easy to get back to black. It's easy to be in profit. We took a loss last week on Friday for the first time in a while, and we're still averaging over 91% winners, and we've still cleared almost like $9,000 since August in the service. So it keeps doing well. So, today's session, every day we do this stuff, daily profit play. We're going to unpack what I consider my perfect small account strategy. Daily strategy, you can target about $100 to $150 a day in trading profits. Okay. And, I've been using this trade for a while. I've seen this trade work out in bigger time frames and bigger durations. I've taken this trade over 30, 60, 90 days. I've taken this trades over, 6 months. But what's been really nice is the cool part is you don't need all this market experience. You don't need dozens of monitors. You don't need to flip through countless stock charts. Okay. With the strategy, we're talking about one ticker and a few minutes to execute the trade each morning. And over the last 15 months, we have posted over 465 winners with an 89+% hit rate. Okay. So anyone that took these trades with me has seen more than $70,000 in profits with a standard $1,000 risk. Now, that's a strategy that helped me post over 465 winners with an 89% accuracy. And here's what's crazy. That's based on $1,000 at risk per day. You can risk less, you can risk more, but it's based on that per day. So when I say that, I mean it's a great account strategy. Okay. We have seen hundreds of traders take their accounts to new heights. Here's Lynn that took a 4K account and leveraged that account, right? Risk capital, totally leveraged account. But risk capital from 4K added $15,000 in profit to bring it almost to 20 grand. Okay. Here's Randy, which now has over 200 winners. Randy still maintained about a 90% win rate in over 200 winners. Here's David. Let's see here. I made over $30,000 with you from David, started with 25K. That's awesome. Keep in mind, these are some of my most dedicated traders that have loved this daily profit play strategy. And we have seen hundreds of stories just like theirs. I think right now we're very close to having about 1,000 traders in the service. Now, I'm going to hand you a small account strategy behind it all, show you how to implement it as soon as tomorrow morning. Now, all we have to do is set the position around 9:35 a.m., let the market take a few points in either direction. And as long as nothing crazy happens, we should see about $100 or more hit our account within the first 90 minutes of the day. Now, I understand that might sound a little crazy and sometimes even too simplistic to actually work, but take our trade from August 14th, set the trade up around 9:35 in the morning. You can walk away. It's like you have the risk. It's risk defined. You can't lose more than you're going to risk in the trade. Okay. Spend the next 90 minutes at the gym, come back and see an extra $162 in your account. How about the next day, the 15th? Following along, trade pops in around 9:35 a.m., hit the trails for a quick ride, come back and see another $225. That should be 112 actually. Sorry. Trade this to 112. 112 sitting in your account. Okay. Or Monday, same time, same place, 9:35 a.m., meet the friends for a hike. And who messed up my slides here, man? 250. All right. So we got 125, 225, and 162. And, these trades are not from a back test. These are actually live trades. So they're not a back test. It's not pulled from a study. These are real trades that I found, I traded and shared with hundreds of my students. Over the last 15 months, the service has been live. We have posted 465 of these type of trades with daily payouts. So July 7th, popped in, spend the morning down the range. All right. Somebody is killing me here. 149 bucks. Okay. Give me 1 second. Okay. So just, I'm not going to go through and change all these slides. We'll adjust this afterwards. But anyway, trade sets up in the morning. Do what we want to do for the day. This is what's nice is, look, I'm live here for the first, 90 minutes, 2 hours of the day. This is what I do. I'm going to sit here most of the day. I go up and grab some coffee, go say hey to the family. But from opening bell to closing bell, this is pretty much what I'm doing, right? You don't have to do that. When this trade is in, risk reward is defined. You can set the take profit up, let the brokers do their job, let the market makers do the job, walk away. That's totally fine. Okay. All right. You don't have to time your entry. You don't have to time your exit. We didn't have to close the trade manually. These trades, as long as you put in the take profit with your broker platform, these returns are automatically deposited in our account. So something like this shouldn't be possible, right? But it's thanks to a unique anomaly hidden outside the options market that led us targets, and again, sometimes it's 30, 40, 50 bucks a day. Sometimes it's $100+ a day or more. It's all based on what we're willing to risk. This is the one thing I will continue to teach and emphasize. This trade is all about reward and risk, all about understanding how this works almost every single day. And this is not some silly gimmick. This has been an anomaly that's studied by Columbia Law, studied by the University of Syracuse. Even the Fed has studied this. This has been this massive piece of market liquidity for all these years. And yet most folks don't know how to leverage it. So today all that changes because we're going to talk about, my daily profit strategy, set this trade up tomorrow morning. Like I said, today is a pretty key day. Like because of this time of year, I'm watching price action closely. I am, not willing to just throw trades out there, I want to make sure like the market makers are doing their job and they're not getting loose with price. This is all about expected moves and expected ranges and probabilities. Okay. But these trades for, an extra 50 bucks a day, an extra 100 bucks a day, even hundreds, even thousands of dollars per day, like a lot of my current students have. I know this sounds exciting, but this is what the daily profit play is all about. Okay. So hopefully if this is your first time joining me live, I appreciate everyone being here. I want you to join me every single day. This is why I run a morning session. All are welcome. And, there's a lot going on in a zero DT environment. There's a lot going on in, live trading in the mornings, but I'm senior option strategist here at Prosperity Pub. A former hedge fund manager, managed multi-million-dollar book on behalf of private clients. Today, I still actively manage for friends and family. And I've traded through a lot of stuff. .com bubble, housing bubble, great financial crisis, Brexit, oil crisis, 2020, 2022 bear market, even this year's trade war. My accounts are up over about 34% for the year, which is not bad considering, what this year's been. Did I leave money on the table? Absolutely. Could I have been more aggressive during March and April? Absolutely. But, you live and learn. And honestly, in 2 weeks, it doesn't matter because it's clean slate. What I did this year, cool. Positive year. I'm happy. Friends and family are happy. It doesn't matter. What matters is what am I going to do in 2026? I'm only as good as my next trade. Okay. So point is, in all this time, the last 25 years, I've traded through this stuff and I'll figure it out. So we have posted more than 465 winners with nearly 90% accuracy in the service. I would put that track record, especially for zero DT trading, up against anybody. I don't think many people are going to have that type of track record. And that's more than one winning trade per day in the last year. And unlike most of my other trading strategies, daily profit play is not dependent on market direction. The market can go higher, the market can go lower, it can even stay dead flat. And yet each scenario offers us a chance to collect our income, $50, $100 or more within usually the first 90 minutes of the day. And that's why I'm here today. I'm going to hand you the complete profit play strategy and show you how to implement it tomorrow morning. Based on today's close and today's price action, we'll talk about it more tomorrow. Okay. All you need is a regular brokerage account, permission to trade options, and a few minutes to set up the trade with me each and every day. And before we get too far along, I want to be clear with everyone. Today, you're going to see a lot of winning trades. This is a very active service, but the nice part is you're looking to win the day, and that is it. You win the day, show up and trade tomorrow. You win the day, show up and trade tomorrow. It's just win the day. All right. So we've closed out over 465 winners since August 2024. That does not mean that losses won't happen. Yes, losses have happened, right? But like I said, the market, if it does something out of the ordinary, it is possible to lose. The market has to do something that is unexpected, abnormal. And yes, we can take the occasional loss. But if you decide to trade with us, do not over leverage. This is about learning a process, understanding reward to risk, and fixing your risk. So that way, when we do take a trade, nothing about the trade can make us emotional. We get plenty of repetitions. We're going to take these trades hundreds and hundreds of times per year. Okay. So one trade does not define us. The strategy, if I lose tomorrow, it doesn't define me. This strategy is still great. It's worked for years and years and years. Stick with it and trade through it. Okay. So finding success in the stock market, especially with a strategy like this, is not about closing one big trade every once in a while. It's about doing one thing consistently and watching the results compound. And that's what Daily Profit Play aims to do. It is a basic trade that anyone can implement any day of the week. And it doesn't matter if we are in a bull market or a bear market, a recession or an expansion. All we have to do is place this trade around 9:35 a.m., let the market take a few points in either direction. And as long as nothing extreme happens, we should see our Daily Profit Play hit within the first 90 minutes generally. Okay. And it's been proven to work in the best of times, which is great. But more importantly, even during the worst of times. And that's not exaggeration. Okay. Let's go back to March of this year. One of the worst stretches of trading, one of the worst losses that the market's experienced since the pandemic in 2020. Okay. $11 trillion wiped away in about 33 trading days. That's ridiculous. One of the most aggressive downturns in the market's history. One of the fastest, nastiest corrections we've ever had. Now, according to Fidelity, the average 401k investor was down 127K. That's obviously going to make a lot of people nervous to watch your 401k retirement plan go down the tube like that. If you're trading options, most people trade long options, just getting blasted, right? $1,000 call options, worthless pretty much. However, even during a crazy move like that, when the market had a 15% swing in a month, a 20+% peak to trough, $1,000 into the Daily Profit would have posted a very different outcome. Because during the month of March, we had 42 winning trades and just 4 losses. That's a 91% win rate during one of the worst months of the year and one of the worst months we've seen in probably the last 5+ years of trading. Now, for the sake of time, I'm not going to walk you through all 40 trades, but some of our best ones include a $300+ winner on March 3rd, 290, 183, 101, 136, 149, 162, 273, 162, 212, and $169 all through the month of March. And that's not counting 29 additional trades I didn't even talk about that we won. Right. So over that same stretch for March, including winners and losses, we had over $6,700 in profit, including winners and losses. Okay. We didn't win all of our trades, but we won most of them. We won 91% of our trades, even during a wild and crazy market. So that's not the best part because I'm live with these trades. I share these trades with hundreds of traders and students each and every morning. Here's Larry up 67K since February. That's an incredible return. That's a lot of money, obviously, to make. Larry's got a pretty big account. He's trading the 6 figures. He's got 7 figures of assets as well. 67K over a couple months could be life-changing, obviously, but here's what's cool. Do you need a 6-figure account to target these daily profit plays? No. You don't need decades of trading experience. You don't need to guess which way the market might go. You just need a small trading account, anywhere between about $500 to $1,000 in buying power, and you can take this thing each and every morning. And that gives us a chance to scale this up. So if you're comfortable risking a little bit more, you can scale it up to make $150, $200 a day, $500 a day, or like a lot of my members that are making this their bread and butter go-to strategy, even over $1,000 per day. And when compared to your typical trading strategies, this is a lot less stressful. Once you are comfortable placing the trade, understanding reward and risk, this is a very stress-free strategy. You don't have to time the entry. You don't have to fight against time decay. You don't have to close the trade manually. You don't have to pick direction. As long as the market takes just a few points in either direction or goes nowhere, we should see the daily profit hit within about 90 minutes. And that's why I'm here today, because traditional trading can be hard. There are a ton of variables you have to get right. You have to time the entry. You have to time the exit. You have to get the direction right, typically, for a lot of strategies. But this is the type of trade where we don't have to worry about any of that. So I'll explain that in just a moment, but this is the reason that we have won 450 plus trades. All we do is set it up around 9:35 and let the market take care of the rest. So let's jump back into the middle of May. March was a nasty month. April was a terrible month, but the market put in an aggressive bottom in April. In May, the market didn't lose $11 trillion. There was obviously a huge comeback trade, but the market conditions were far from ideal. There's still a ton of uncertainty. VIX was really elevated. We had gaps galore all over the place from day-to-day trading, and all the news surrounding the trade war created a very, very a long stretch of volatile days. Now, most traders typically don't know what to do in this type of volatility or try to avoid it, but with our trade, it doesn't really matter that much because the market can tick higher and it can tick lower or it can go sideways. We still have a chance to make money. So up, down, sideways, every single day we have a chance to collect a winner with our 50, $100+ or more within about 90 minutes of the opening bell. Okay, May 20th, despite being a choppy day, the market finished slightly lower. Typically, directional traders would avoid the chop or get busted up because they were wrong, but daily profit play, it didn't matter. As long as the trader set up in the morning, we would hit our daily profit play. $164. Not bad. Let's jump to the next day. In this case, the market opened flat, eventually closed in the red. It didn't matter. Anyone that was trading directional, trading bullish that day would have lost. But we closed out before lunch, $111 within about 90 minutes. What about the next day? Market drifted sideways, finished slightly higher on the day. These are the days that are very painful for bulls because you didn't get enough direction to cover the premium, and price essentially doesn't go fast enough, far enough to get you paid. But we didn't have time to get into our trades. With our daily profit play, we didn't have to worry about that. And we saw a $342 winner within about 90 minutes of the open. Next day, same story, $104 within 90 minutes of the open. Let's look at one more. In this case, the market sold off 53 points lower. Okay, if you're trading call options, buy options, bull call spreads, bull put spreads, whatever, probably losing. But with our trade, daily profit play would have seen an extra $234 hit well before their lunch hour. So in all these different conditions, we're talking like 5 very different outcomes. Markets up, markets down, market sideways, up, down, sideways, fast or slow. Our trades posted 5 winners, even in different environments. Anyone that started that week with $1,000 would have nearly doubled it. There's an extra $955 after just those 5 trades. Okay, you want to double your risk? Well, you can double your profit. There's $1,910 in profit. So I don't want that to sound cheesy, but I think $1,900 in a week sounds pretty nice, right? Especially when you don't have to pick direction, time your entry, time your exit, just get in and let the market makers do their thing. That's money that can be good, good for a number of things. Happy hour with some friends, weekend getaway, a round of golf, a mortgage payment, even your next Amazon purchase, maybe some holiday stuff coming up. I think trading is like having a side hustle. I do this full time, but it is kind of permanently been a side hustle for me. That pays pretty well, but without putting in all the extra hours and being like glued for a full-time job. Daily profit play was designed to work in tandem with your life, not alter it. So if you have a day job, don't quit. If you're saving for retirement, obviously don't stop. That's not what the other strategy is about. This is about taking a small portion of our current investments to target a daily profit each and every morning. So is it going to make you a millionaire overnight? No, it is not. It's not going to allow you to retire tomorrow. But what this will do is this will open your eyes up to a strategy that you can do every single day and have a process that helps you generate some profits. So the goal is to target, let's say $50 a day, $100 a day each morning to make life just a little bit easier. You can target more or less, right? So we have traders in the service, all ages, all skill levels, all account sizes, following the daily profit play. Here's Jim, 26, 2-1 for a little stretch there over about a month. Here's Drazen up $200 a day. Here's Matt up $440 today. That's one trade, 8 contracts, $440. That's awesome. Here's William pulling in consistently $1,000 to $2,000 per day. No hype, just consistent with risk management. Stick with it, right? Doesn't matter what struggles you've had in the past. Doesn't matter if you've lost your last 10 trades in a row. Our daily strategy was designed for $100 or more, regardless of how the market moves. Set up the trade around 9:35 in the morning. I'll explain how these trades work. I want to remind you that we are not perfect. Okay. Also, the market's not perfect, but about 10% of our trades have gone against us. And that is something where, the market just doesn't always cooperate. Sometimes it just doesn't, but I'm okay winning 89% of my trades. I'm okay winning 90+% of our trades. We've had a nice stretch since August of this year. We've won almost 92% of our trades. That's a nice little win streak. So with any strategy, typically you're going to see winners and losers with any strategy. That's the nature of trading. But in our case, we have had 8 times more winners than our losers. So we do trade this with a high degree of confidence, right? And that's not because we're doing anything overly special. We are simply aligning our trade with the daily expectations of the stock market. And more specifically, market makers, liquidity providers. This is the market efficiency, right? So really nobody has a better grasp in the markets on what might happen and what will likely unfold through the trading day than a market maker. Their entire job, their entire existence is to create liquidity and price stability, and their job is to forecast today's price action and quote options accordingly. In addition to that, we're trying to align ourselves with them using a special metric called the expected range. Now, this is a volatility-based range that represents the market's expected high and low for the day. Now, the way it works is actually pretty simple. Each morning, the market makers will give us an expected high representing the day's highest possible price. That prices should not go higher than this or stay higher than this. And also they give us the expected low, which is representing the day's lowest possible price. Prices can test that level, prices can go through that level, but they shouldn't close above that high or they shouldn't close below that low. That is the expected range. Now, this range accounts for pretty much all major events that would move the market in either direction. So on good news and bad news, economic data, global tensions, market events will unfold throughout the day. Market makers know this and it's priced in. But here's the thing. Unless something extreme happens, most of the time, every single day, markets rarely move outside of the expected range. Okay. In other words, it's almost always somewhere in the middle. And that's where our strategy begins. So we don't have to care about where the market's moving. Okay. We're not betting on it to move higher. We're not betting on it to move lower. And we actually don't care if the market does nothing at all. This is actually great. We just need the market to stay within a range or not do anything silly or get back to center within about 69 minutes of the opening bell. So as long as that happens, we should collect our daily profit. So here's an example on June 4th. The market maker set the top of the range at 60.20 and the bottom at 59.35. We were expecting to see the market stay somewhere in the middle. And sure enough, that's exactly what happened. Market stayed range bound all day, good enough to collect our daily profit. Anyone could have followed along for $197 within the first 90 minutes of the day. And it didn't matter if the market went higher or lower or stayed completely flat. What matters is that it stays within the range, which usually happens more than 90% of the time. So keep in mind that was not a backtested trade. I shared this with more than 800 members at the time. And more importantly, took the trade with my own money too. In fact, every trade that you've seen in the tracker, every trade that's been posted in Telegram and in the tracker has been with live capital. Okay. It is a primary way that I generate some daily income in the stock market. Zero DT is a nice way to get some reps every single day. In a perfect world, we can say that we're going to target $100 a day and then slowly start scaling that up. Okay, if you want to. But again, understand the risk. You can also start smaller, risk less, and target somewhere between like 30, 40, $50 a day, which will add up over time. You can scale that as well. So I've got members that are making $100, $200 a day, $500 a day, even over thousands of dollars per day. There's plenty of members doing that. And the best part is the trade mechanics work the same way. All right. So as long as the market makers stay within the expected range within the first 90 minutes or so, that's generally how long our trades take, we should see our daily profit. June 25th example, expected range high 61.25, range low at 60.80. Market makers wanted prices to stay in between those levels. We had a chance to take profit if that's the case. And sure enough, the market stayed perfectly within the confines of the range. Anyone followed along? That was a big profit for that day, $470 profit hit before 11 a.m. That's really kind of the secret to all this is like the magic is in the market makers. So market makers are smart. They set a range wide enough to contain almost every major market movement event. You saw this with days of FOMC, non-farm payroll, all these crazy events that happen during the week. This includes swing highs, swing lows, and even surprise events that unfold during the day. We've had this happen plenty of times in 2025 with a Truth Social tweet or post. Trump has been very volatile in the markets this year with things he said. So here's an example on June 13th, 60.50, 59.60. That's a pretty large expected range, but that is by design. It's meant to capture most major market movements as they happen throughout the day. In this case, we knew the market would likely stay somewhere in the middle. And sure enough, that's what happened. So we took the trade in the morning. We got out with about $100 within about 90 minutes. And watch what happened here. The market sold off at the open, came back midday, sold off again with some geopolitical news. We had an Israeli airstrike, but it never moved outside the expected range, even during some crazy news, right? That's why our win rate is upwards of 89+%. We know that the range accounts for most major swings that happen throughout the day. And you may not realize it, but market makers rarely get it wrong. In fact, it's the only way that they get paid is to keep prices within the range. If it moves outside the range, they could be on the hook for lots and lots of money. They can lose millions and millions of dollars on the options that they sell. That is why they typically do anything to defend it. So a lot of times you'll see the market has these levels where they hit the expected range high or low, and the markets get pushed back inside that daily range. Here's an example on June 2nd. Range was set at 59.45 and 58.55. Market stayed in between. You're looking for a chance for profit, and the market did that. But look at how it happened. Okay. We collected another daily profit play winner, but look at how the bottom of that range was tested and price got pushed up back into the range. Okay. That happens a lot. So in this case, the market makers were likely defending the integrity of that expected range and defending it to keep prices within. In other words, they wanted to make sure that the market stayed within the expected range for the entire day. But sometimes it will test the highs and lows, right? And thankfully, they did because it was worth another $153 for that particular day. Anyone who took these trades, these last 4 trades I mentioned, there's a $950 profit on that 1K starting stake per trade. Double the starting stake, you're looking at $1,900. Okay. I think that's a meaningful chunk of change, right? But that's not even the most impressive part, because here was our track record for June of 2025. We had 32 wins and 2 losses. 32 wins, 2 losses, right? That's pretty insane. Now, very few traders, especially in a zero DT environment, can do that. But when you're not reliant on market direction, it's not that difficult, right? Like, this is what we do every single day. So let's walk through the week. First week, we were 10-0. Awesome week. Next week, we ended up losing 2 trades. We had 5 wins, 2 losses. This is why I continue to tell traders, you have to trade through it. You got to trade through it. Why? Because the next week we had 7 wins and 0 losses, and then we have 9 wins and 0 losses, and then we have 1 more win, right? That's 17 winners right after that loss. You got to keep trading, okay? Total profit, $4,575 with that 1K risk. Now, what does that look like over the course of a year or 2 years or 5 years? You do this stuff every single day, and all you have to trade is the day. What happened yesterday doesn't matter. What the market does today is what matters. This is why we do this stuff every single day in the daily profit play room, right? If all goes to plan, we should hit our trade, our balance, our bonus, our profits, all within about 90 minutes. Okay. So can I promise future outcomes? No, but I will say this, I'm going to trade it live. Don't over leverage yourself. If you are ever emotional on winners and losers, you need to trade smaller. That's 25 years of experience talking. Trade smaller, make everything feel insignificant, get comfortable with the process. It's a game of dollars and percentages and how you can manage that. Okay. So just because I take the trade live does not mean that you should force that trade. Get comfortable with the process. Right. If you'd like to join us in the daily trading program that we call Daily Profit Play, you're in the right spot. As long as the market stays within the expected range for most of the morning, within about the first 90 minutes or so, we should collect our daily profit. And since inception, it's been a massive success. Traders of literally all skill levels, all ages, all account sizes thrive in these crazy market conditions. There's Lynn again, that 4K to 20K. Here's Randy, over 200 wins. Here's Maddie, $695. Okay, haven't lost on him yet. Here's Dave. This was one particular week. Dave made over $2,300 in 1 week. He had 24 winners that week. Super active. Here's Ken, traded with Chris every single day in the room, 16 wins, 1 loss, and started. Here's a great one from David. Best program I belong to. I've only had 1 loss. It was small and manageable. Literally the rest of the days are all winners. WJB, I've not lost 1 trade. Sure, sometimes I wait for it to close, but it works better than anything I have seen. Again, 89+% winners, 465 winners. Trade this strategy with a lot of confidence, and you're going to learn a lot in the process, right? If this is one way to get you introduced to options, it is a little intimidating to feel like you're going into the markets every single day. There's a lot of sensitivity in prices. Things move fast. It's a fast strategy. But once you are comfortable with the same thing almost every single morning, it does become like a routine. It does become like a process, and it's defined risk. So we don't take more risk than we're comfortable, right? Anyway, if you get $1,000 stake in each trade, we're up over 77K per trade, like for the last 14, 15 months in the service. Okay. Now, yes, it's happened over 15 months. Okay. And a few of our members have gotten there even faster because they traded more accounts. They traded more contracts. That's okay. Here's Larry's 67K in just 90 days, right? Can we target our daily profit play starting tomorrow? I hope so. That's the plan. So I'll be hosting a live session in the morning. I will get a masterclass out this week. So all of you are welcome to join me, new members and old, OG members, whatever. But my plan is to walk you through the strategy, how we set up the trade, and we'll even do some Q&A, right? So we'll set up our daily profit play together, follow along, hopefully take the trade, goes well step by step. We have a winner, walk away. Here's the thing. I do this every single day. So daily profit play is a strategy that I'm running inside of my daily sessions every morning. So we are live, members get the alerts, and we're looking for our trades hopefully every single day. Cool. All right. Do you have to attend the live sessions? No, but this is a great way to get the day started, to be honest. This is a great way for me to get the day started. It gets me, in the trenches, gets my hands dirty, ready to look at the markets, get a pulse, get a feel for the markets. And then it also kind of lets me look at my entire portfolio A to Z. And, when I go opening bell, closing bell every single day, I'm obviously perusing my trades. Okay. So if you are in the Daily Profit Play service, you will have a members only Telegram that I post all of my trades, alerts, and updates. Right. So the ticker, the option criteria, the trade instructions, when I'm in, when I'm out. And if you want to read it, follow along, you can take the same trade I take. Okay. So when I post a trade in my live broker account, I post in Telegram within about 15 seconds. So you should have the trade as quickly as I can type it. It's not uncommon to see, one trade a day, if not more. But the beautiful thing about this strategy is we're not bouncing around from ticker to ticker. We're not flipping through dozens of charts. We are taking the similar trade mechanics, like same type of trade each and every day, and we're doing it around the same time on the same ticker. So if you're new to trading, this does get pretty straightforward. It's the same ticker, same time each day, and we're looking for the same type of systematic and mechanical trades, right? And I've seen countless traders, new and old, learn how to do this daily setup. You don't need a degree in finance. You don't need any special skills. You don't need to be a market wizard. We're simply aligning our trades with the expectations of the market makers who have been doing this for 50 plus years. And they are fantastic at their job. And so that is the team that we are on. We are on the same team as market makers. As long as the market stays within the expected range, we should see a daily profit. So here's one. Let's jump to July 22nd, top of the range, 64.30, 63.70. Okay, market stayed range bound all day, little ups, little downs, finished inside the expected range. You notice that the markets actually went nowhere for the day. Like open to close, the market went sideways. But obviously there's highs and lows that the day, had, but it didn't matter one bit because we still made money. We're still able to collect our daily profit play at $282 profit. Okay, and that was right around 11 a.m. Eastern time. The trade is done. So it's a nice payout, especially considering we have, $500 buying power, $1,000 buying power is all that's required to take these trades. Okay, the payout would have been worth $564 if you doubled that starting stake. Okay, put in a little bit more, you get paid more. Up to 5K. I get it. Like 5K risk is a lot. That's a big swing for the day, but you're walking away with $1,400 on the day. So these daily opportunities, look, membership price starts at $21.97. That is trading with me every single day when the market's open. So, we trade a lot. We're going to post, 200 plus trades, if not more. We're going to have 200 plus live sessions every single year. There's like 252 trading days. We're live for most of them. And that is a great deal. That's a lot of alerts. That's Telegram access, member only access for all the trades, the trade tracker, daily profit play video course, plus masterclasses, live trade workshops and Q&As, handbook strategy guide, and other bonuses that I haven't even gotten to yet. But today I'm doing something special. Okay. All these returns are based on that $1,000 starting stake. So the gains of, 164, 225, and $342. But let's take that $1,000 starting stake. Let's give you that as a little voucher and knock that off the retail price. So my website, which is Chris Pulver Trading, shows this at $21.97, but you can get started for $11.97. Okay, $11.97. And look, seeing the challenges right now, it's like persistent and consistent inflation. It's not going away. The K-shaped economy, all these things that we're dealing with right now, stock market in our daily lives. I think that trading the markets is the best side hustle. I think the daily profit play could relieve some of the financial fears that a lot of people are experiencing today. We're trying to find a side hustle. We're trying to find some gigs. We're trying to make some extra money. Markets are great for it. They have made some very, very wealthy people over the years. It doesn't have to be rocket science. It doesn't have to be hard. Like, follow the forces that make the markets work. That's what we do. So I want to make this affordable so we can see this, the expenses covered over like a couple of weeks of trading, right? And then you have a process that nobody can take away from you, and you're ready to hit the ground running with a strategy that you love. And you can do this stuff every single day. So if you'd like to join me tomorrow and every day, and join me this week for a masterclass, then we've got it down to $11.97. On top of that, if you jump in a new member bonus, I will give you my daily profit play indicator. This is one of my favorite visuals to use every single day. So this shows me roughly where the market should stay inside of. We should see prices stay within that yellow box. We should see prices within those blue lines. and there's going to be some, behavior inside of them. But we talk about this stuff in our master classes. We do this stuff and let it unpack every single day. It's played a huge role in our success, right? Over the next few days, you put it on the charts. You can have this on TradingView. It's on Thinkorswim as well. And, I'll teach you in the class on how to use it, right? So this indicator is sold a la carte, but I want to include it for any member that jumps in. So you have my daily profit play service, members Telegram, where all my trades are posted, the trade tracker, and my daily profit play indicator for your hopefully favorite charting platform. Okay, you can have this at no cost if you're jumping into my daily profit play service. All right, so if you want to trade with me every day, right? Every day the market's open, daily profit play. Here we go. prosperitypub.com/100. Okay, you also click the link in the chat that Blake just dropped. Daily profit play is one of my favorite services. It is fast. It is a lot of action, but again, keep the trade size in check, keep the emotions in check, and then we just focus on the process. That's what it is. Okay. If you want to talk to somebody personally and get slotted for everything with the classroom, masterclass session this week, member Telegram, all the comprehensive education I give in the class, give us a call, 904-706-3537. Okay. So your $1,000 new member discount plus your daily profit play indicator, and you get the trades we've been taking for the last, 14, 15 months, like clockwork, and lots of winners, trading with confidence. Like I know the strategy has changed many, many, many traders' lives. Like, oh my gosh, I didn't realize I could do this stuff every single day and make money. Right. And I don't have to worry about what the market's going to do tomorrow. I don't have to worry about what the market's going to be at, 6 months from now, 12 months from now. What about this recession that we haven't had since 2020? It's like all this stuff is like, it's all to worry us, but we just focus on the process. Okay. And we have won 89+% of our trades on all the issued trades. And keep in mind, this is, during some of the craziest conditions we have seen since 2020. This year, especially, we had some wild and crazy times. We still walked away with 90+% winners, which I'm really proud of. The tracker shows about a 77K return. That's including winners and losses, by the way. So, it's not a game of perfect. prosperitypub.com/100. Okay, I want to address some common questions that pop up here. What size trading account is needed to get started? You don't need $10,000 or $20,000 to get started. Okay, so you can take these strategies with as little as about $400 to $500 in buying power. That's probably the starting point. So a couple $1,000s gets the job done. And everyone asked me the question on pattern day trading, which right now is a thing that restricts you to 3 trades a week for an open close in the same day. But I believe by Q1 of 2026, we will not have pattern day trading as a restriction. That should be passed by the SEC. Okay. So, do you need a ton of buying power? No, you need a couple $1,000 to really get started. $500 is probably minimum buying power, but you can scale it over time. So when you're comfortable with the process, comfortable with the strategy, more confident placing these trades every single day, guess what? You can add some money to your account. If I started out with a 5K account just to start this trade and I realized I'm making, $50 a day, $50 a day. Well, if it's working, maybe I'll put another $5,000 in that account, fund it so I've got a little bit more to work with, maybe scale that from a 1 or 2 contract trade and make more money. So, but again, only do what you're comfortable doing. So, taking Lynn, like a 4K account was completely used as risk capital, but leveraged in a way where, 4K making $1,000 a day, right? So it's like, yeah, Lynn was putting a lot on the line. A big percentage of that account is going into this daily profit play, but it was in order to build and scale. So, in a 90-day window, 4K to 20K is pretty darn impressive. How many trades a week can you expect? Well, I'm going to try to take this thing every single day. Okay. But it's not uncommon to see as many as 3 or 4 of these trades throughout the week or throughout the day. August 20th, we had, 3 for 3. We had a winner for $250, another winner for 55, and another winner for 96. So we had $401 on that day, on that trading day. Pattern day trading, I mentioned this. You can still trade 3 days per week with pattern day trading. If you want to open and close the same day, you get 3 of those. Okay. If your account's over 25K margin. Now, you can trade this on IRA accounts. You can trade with cash and trade as much as you want, as long as there's enough cash to cover it. That depends on your broker. Depends on your broker and your permissions. For example, I manage a lot of accounts through Tasty. Tasty has the works, and you can do that with IRA accounts, and you have permission to trade whatever you want. If I had a 10K IRA, I could still take this trade every single day of the week. So there are workarounds. Okay. You get your 3 daily profit plays if you're under 25K margin, but it's enough to trade, 3 times a week is plenty to get the ball rolling. And we've done the numbers. We've seen that Mondays and Wednesdays are typically the best days to do it. That increases our win percentage from about 90% to like 94, 95%. Okay. So there's the workarounds. Plus, like I said, pattern day trading should be going away in Q1 of 2026. All right. What ticker are we actually trading? I focus primarily on SPX. SPX. Why? So it's super liquid. You get a huge tax benefit. It's a cash settled index, so there's zero risk of assignment. And my indicator works on TradingView and Thinkorswim. You can there's like an 8-minute video that gives you here's the